Yes, sir. Got a used River Raider snorkel. I think this was designed by Hawk Engineering or Hawk Off-Road. I think they both went out of business. River Raider did for sure. This was on a 3.8 liter Jeep JK two-door. And basically, so what I'm doing is working on my stock airbox. So I'm going to show you what we had. I took a grinder and ground all that plastic off and flattened it because I'm going to be installing a plate over it and siliconing it in. And basically the idea is to waterproof this stock airbox. This is the air intake, was the air intake side. Obviously all those holes right there got to all be filled really good, top and bottom, with silicone. Then I need to, on this side, I got to grind off those fins right there and get a nice flat surface in here as well, because there'll be a hole saw cut here and a flange put on, because this will go out to the firewall, through the firewall and the cowl up to the little mushroom head that's on the top. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, on this side of the air box, there were some fins. They basically look like that. There was 3 of them. They needed to be ground out of the way. Basically flattening this out because a small flange will get installed right here. Also, that will need to be black RTV. I've got some stainless steel hardware, and obviously I want to silicone it on the outside as well as on the inside when I carefully drill the hole. I got to get a hole saw and drill through that, so that'll be challenging but very important. I think it's just going to barely fit in. Let's look at where the air intake was. This has all been ground down nicely. A plate will get on this, so we're going to box this up right there. We'll have a new opening here that will actually go through the firewall and the cowl to the actual outside air, to the top of the snorkel piece. And then the top piece that normally fits on here over the air cleaner, that should continue through into the throttle body. So I'll go get that and another piece and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's a look at the 2 air boxes. The one on the left comes out of the 3.8. You can see some pretty substantial differences. Even on the bottom, there's some differences. It takes the same air cleaner, I believe. We'll prove that shortly and see if it fits into the 3.6 air box. But if you look right here, this is where Todd had a plate installed. So this is where the air intake was. This thing was ground down, siliconed up, and a plate with stainless steel hardware was put on there. So in my case, with the 3.6, for those of you that have, you might recall your air box looked like this. So some rivets were taken out to remove this piece. This was all ground down nice. Now this is in the go position for a plate to be secured with some stainless steel hardware, which I'll have to get, and some black silicone. Now, if we go back over here to the 3.8, this went to the throttle body. And over here down on the bottom now became the air intake, where this piece right here, a little flange, was installed. Obviously, I have to, this actually went like this. I removed it. So now the idea is to measure this, and this will end up going on mine like so. So the air intake will be right here. So that's the trick. I got to get that in there very carefully, get it all secured and waterproof nicely with some stainless steel hardware. Then a 90-degree elbow and flex hose will continue this way over the battery once that gets relocated through the firewall and up to the top of the snorkel. So just doing this a little bit at a time each day, doing some prep work before we get into some of the more serious stuff as far as drilling through the firewall. I don't have any templates. I'm going to have to just measure carefully. I have no templates whatsoever to go by, but we'll get her done. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be really nice. Here's the 3.6 air box. Air filters installed. I'll put the cover on right here and just show you how that's all going to work out. All right, so the plate will get installed, siliconed, where the old air intake used to be. On this side here, we're going to get a hole saw, drill this out, silicone it, secure it with stainless steel hardware, get it all gooped up, waterproof, and then this will be like that. Then there'll be an elbow on right here to a flex hose, and then the air box portion will be done. So far, so good. All right, I just did a little mock-up of what this looks like. Throttle body, air in now is going to come into the bottom. Then you have this flex hose that goes through. This flange is the firewall. I got to drill through the firewall. Then there's an elbow up. I have to drill through with a hole saw the cowl and the top curved part of the fender. And then that's what you'd see. That little opening right there is what you'll see sticking out of the top of the cowl. So that's what it looks like. I think this is going to work. But I got some serious work ahead of me. I'll clean all of this up. This is all going to get painted nice. This is a bracket. I have to relocate. I got to slide the stock battery location over a couple, 2-3 inches. And then I have to lower some other stuff and move all the electrical. So there'll be a significant amount of work in regards for that. Basically, let's see, to be a little more accurate, that's what you'd have. So this will just skirt close to the battery through the firewall and out. The battery gets shifted from where it is now, which would be right here, over to here.